Thank you very much, Dr. Hema. I wish I could have given you some more time. I really compliment you for speaking with a supersonic jet speed, but with absolute clarity in voice. Anyway, I think it is open for discussion after the session. We can start the question-answer session. Now it's open for discussion from the audience.
Good morning to all gathered here. I am Dr. Andal from Krishnammal College, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I have two questions, actually three questions. The first one I want to pose is to Sir Richardson. So you have been explaining some case studies regarding your hydro. Yeah. So you were doing only for domestic water supply.
That's correct.
Yeah, but in your slides you had mentioned about even for wastewater treatment you can utilize it. Have you reported any case study regarding wastewater treatment? Any small scale industries, have you treated those wastewaters with your techniques?
Yes, we have. We've done a number of, actually quite a large number of wastewater, relatively small STP kind of tertiary treatments. Okay. And I only focused on potable today, but we certainly do have a good portfolio of wastewater treatment as well. Okay.
Have you done it in a small scale or a large scale level, sir?
Well, the smallest we went to was servicing, it was a township, but it was only a small town.
Okay.
I think it was about 200 people.
Okay.
With a centralised waste collection and then an STP, and we treated we still currently treat the effluent.
Okay. You have mentioned in your slides for them it was about 4 years and then 10 years it's still working for domestic case. In that case, what about wastewater treatment, sir?
We started doing wastewater treatment actually a long time ago. It was one of the first we did. And then because the development of the technique is equal to both applications, we focus on really the drinking water side of things, because we focused in Australia on the regional towns which actually handle their wastewater fairly well, but they had issues with their drinking water. So that's why we've tended to focus on the drinking water.
So more focus is on drinking water rather than...
No, there are two things here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a basic disinfection process. Whether it's a water or wastewater, it's the same. So the water gets pre-treated and then it's a disinfection, number one. Number two, those were only the selected cases which we took because they were being there for a longer time. Yes, we do have some other installation in other places where like it has been going on 4 or 5 years and they've proven good results. But we just took it to say that because like the main focus area was operation and maintenance was less and then no chemicals. And then when we say that, people would say like, what is the reliability, sustainability? So that's the reason we took the projects or case studies which had been there for a longer time so that we could tell you guys that it is sustainable.
Has a history.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my second question is to Professor Boodley. Sir, you were mentioning about the removal of dyes using palladium doped nanomaterial. Methylene blue removal.
What is the question?
Yeah, question is, you have just removed the dye from the wastewater or your synthetic water which you have prepared in your laboratory, and again it has been loaded upon your nanomaterial. Now the nanomaterial is loaded with the dye. What happens to that? It is again another form of solid waste pollution. How would you react to it, sir?
We're actually not using nanomaterials to adsorb dyes. We're using it as a catalyst, and those who are chemists will know that catalysts are used in very minute quantity. We're not causing any pollution by using the nanomaterial as catalyst.
Yeah, but you have not mentioned the dosage and all in your slides, actually. So it would have been more clear if you have mentioned the dosage, time interval, and all those parameters, what all you have taken care of. So it was ambiguous.
Can I refer you to the full paper on page 286?
Okay, that's good. And my last question is to Dr. Hema Diwan. You were talking about again soil, fertilizers and a lot. That's good. But now the consumers are more aware of organic foods. So even organic foods, which are available in markets now. Even though the price is double or triple, people are ready to buy. They are more focused on organic foods rather than normal foods, especially pulses, rice, everything, all grocery items. So in that case, even though it is costly, yield is lesser, why can't you insist your farmers to concentrate? In Tamil Nadu, we have lot of organic foods only.
No, I absolutely agree with you that lots of organic foods are coming into the market, but we need to see this supply and demand as well. Now, that kind of organic production, how much percentage it is actually catering to the entire food production required, that takes a... So if all the Janta starts asking for organic foods, we would not be able to, because so-called as synthetic crop production, etc., is fast, and it's faster, production is enhanced, and then yield things are there. There on the other side, organic and all, we are compromising on the yield effect. So why we are using more and more fertilizers? Because we want that kind of biomass to come, that kind of production to happen. Organics might not be able to. So from the same patch of land, the productivity would go down. No doubt, environment might be good and our gut would be satisfied, but there are it's a trade-off kind of thing, paradoxical situation.
Okay. Yeah,
So
can I just
Thank
add to whatever you were saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You must have heard about the Gloria land in Pondicherry.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now they have been trying to do this organic farming for decades.
Okay.
Initially it worked very well, but now of late, during the last 1 decade or so, after expiry of Dr. Pal, who was in charge, they are finding a decline in the whole thing. Again, it's related to whatever Dr. Hema is saying. Anyway, we can discuss this thing during the tea time. I request you. I'm sorry that I kept you waiting. Please.
Hello, I am Mr. Muralidhar Panda from Odisha, Deputy Director, Department of Water Resources. My question to Mr. Richardson, that in your newly devised hydro dish, what is the range of the impurities or the matters that the machine can be able to purify it? What is the limitation, I mean?
Well, the limitation really, we disinfect, we can disinfect wastewater down to potable drinking quality.
Ice water.
With regard to microbiological. So we will disinfect the water down to drinking quality from wastewater. There are other issues that our system, that would need filtration and various other things just to get suspended solids, etc. out. But from a microbiological perspective, we can start with, we have what's called log reductions. We can get many times to the power of 10 reduction of bacteria and viruses.
In India, we don't have much of ice water in South India and other parts of our country. We do have runoff, flow water from the river. Is it okay for the hydro dish to be installed there in that cases?
Sir, I didn't get your questions. Are you trying to say it's for the drinking water, just disinfection, or along with other treatment? If you could be specific on the question, I could be...
You should be specific in your assignment that what a hydro dish can do for disinfect the water. What is a range of impurity that it can purify?
He answered you that.
He told that ice water can be used.
Not ice water, wastewater.
Wastewater.
Yeah.
And the degree of, impurities and the turbidity, is there any limitation?
There is no limitation on the quality. It could kill each and every pathogen, as he said.
Then it's good, very good, very good. Thank you very much. And sir, Professor Motley.
Can I just interrupt here for a moment? I don't know, we have already come to the end of the time.
No, sir, another 5 minutes, we are having 11:15.
10 minutes. 5 minutes.
11:15.
Then we have to cut short our tea time.
Sir, just a small clarification, that how will you know that dye is present in a specific water, wastewater? How will he, or any water we can use for dye extraction? Second, what is the economical way that, is it economical for the process to be done, and what are its limitations?
I think everybody knows that dyes, even in very small quantities, can be seen because they have very intense color. So even in very low concentration, you can see the dye with your naked eye, without any instrumentation, you can see the dye. And your second question, sorry? The dyes are in small quantities, but as I said, the problem with leaving them there is that they are cancer producing. So if they want to use it later on for drinking purposes, domestic purposes, then dye should be removed completely. But if the dye industry wants to use it, they can take out the moderns and maybe use it, reuse it, but they will not use it with the dye in there. So they also need to remove the dye. But what we are saying is we can degrade the dye to other compounds which will not be harmful, either to drinking water purposes or for the dyeing industry to reuse the water.
I just wanted to add from professors this thing, one information we can discuss later. You know, according to the International Register for Potentially Toxic Chemicals set up by UN, there are 20 lakhs synthetic chemicals existing in the global market. And every day, 20 lakhs. Anything that you touch, anything that you eat, anything. And every day with a rate of 500 to 1,000 new chemicals, synthetic chemicals are getting added to the global market. But from the point of view of toxicity angle, only one chemical has been tested thoroughly. But because testing one chemical by the United States Environmental Protection Agency to test one chemical from epidemiological angle, particularly on effect on the human being, it costed them about $10 billion 15 years back. So you can imagine and this one chemical also which has been tested, and only 15 chemicals have been tested, including this one chemical that is not on human being. That is on the skin smear of the human being, but mostly on rats and other animals. So it's a very complex issue. Anyway, what professor is trying to convey is something different, and he agrees that whatever is left out, it has to be ensured that it has been removed thoroughly. I'm sorry, sir, I have kept you waiting. Please. Yes. He has been
myself is Dr. D.S. Malik. My query is from Shikhar Sharma. Since 5 decades, a lot of the money has been spent on the Ganga Action Plan, or so-called the nowadays Namami Gange. But I think that after so many developmental works, at present the water quality are going to deteriorate day by day, and no emphasis about the conservation of the aquatic biodiversity in this one is the Ganga basin, starting from the Uttarakhand to up to the lower Jana delta of the West Bengal. So my question is that have some policy about to conservation of the aquatic biodiversity in Ganga river? Because a lot of the variety, a number of the species of the aquatic biodiversity, or particularly the fisheries, are going to the extinct nowadays. Yes.
Actually, we were having this discussion yesterday as well, and some people, speakers over here, they told that there's no such policy-driven mechanism in India for water and environment right now. But the framework has been proposed in the parliament, and maybe soon we'll be coming up with such a system which is driven by policy. But one thing that we need to understand is when I presented the case study of the UK, it took them around 12 years just in the planning phase. Their Water Framework Directive was initiated in year 2000, and the first cycle after all the planning for the conservation and integrated catchment management, it started in 2013. So this is the long chain that we have to go through. We have to identify all our catchments based on their locations. We have to categorize our groundwater resources in those catchments, our oceans in those catchments, and then we have to make specific plans for them. So it's a time-taking process, and yes, the things are under process, may take some more time in India.
Okay, I think because of the paucity of time.
I am R. Mehrotra from Delhi Technological University. I would like to congratulate Madam Diwan for the excellent study she has carried out. But at the same time, I'd like to just add, probably the people from the fertilizer industry or the agricultural sector might know more. What I know that there are nowadays fertilizers which are coated, and they are just like sustained release or slow release. So probably that is the way to do the things, what you want, rather than
I think,
it is impossible to tell everybody how to put so much, how much fertilizer to put in this thing. People from the international community may be knowing more. I know a little bit. In Switzerland, since even last 25 years, they have ICT-based systems which are helping the farmer to just give the right dose. And those countries are also having emphasis on, we just talk about BOD in our wastewaters and all this. The European community, the Europe people, they have been doing this nutrient study or removal of the nutrients from the wastewaters since very long time. They don't talk about BOD much. They start talking how much nitrogen removal is there and how much phosphate removal is there.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay,
I have
sir.
no problem. I can continue the whole
sir,
tea
okay,
session
okay,
here
okay,
also.
okay.
I'm
I
very eager. I can skip
I
my
have
tea.
said what I wanted to say.
No, it's a very valid point and we can discuss it. Now, without taking much time, only one last question. This gentleman has been waiting.
I'll only supplement what Dr. Hema Devan has said and clarify. I represent the agro input industry, seeds, fertilizers, and agrochemicals. Okay. I personally feel, and to cut it very short, whether it's nitrogen or phosphatic fertilizers or potash, the consumption would keep on increasing. It has been seen for the last 4 decades, and as long as you and I live, it will continue because of the government subsidy. Yeah. Subsidy is given by the government at all levels, and therefore the consumption is much higher. It is much higher in Punjab and Haryana because geographically the area is very small. So I think till the time subsidy is reduced or removed, which will never happen politically, this would continue to be used non-judiciously. Secondly, the effort on soil health cards and mobile vans to do soil sampling has been in vogue and people have been doing it. Usage is very, very limited. And I personally feel it takes some time to educate the farmers. The industry has, for your information, 2.75 lakh dealers in rural markets and about 1.5 lakh people as extension workers to help and educate the farmers, which is an ongoing process. Thank you.
Just to add you, sir, one thing. I have traveled this Gangetic plain thoroughly and extensively on foot and at least 3 times in a year. What I found that even these gadgets which has been manufactured and anything, it has not reached to the farmer. Very limited handful number of 1 or 2 very rich farmer is in Punjab and Haryana, they are claiming we have. Anyway, we will discuss this next week.
So
Anyway,
actually that was only the onus of the study, that these things are there. We toss the farmers on these things only. The effectiveness is missing. It's lacking. Vodafone has developed an app. Now, who is using that app? Are they able, are they proficient enough to use those apps? That's the problem. Yeah.
Thank you very much.